Hi guys, welcome to another session of FMCG Blueprint. Today we will discuss a very important topic uh, that not only would help all of us into our day-to-day lives while working into the companies, while handling day-to-day operations, but this is a very key topic in most of the interviews. So, and also I would say one of my favorite topics, and that is why I've decided to take it up. Uh, in this, we'll be covering GTM strategies. I'll try to explain you in depth what are the different GTM strategies that are there into the system. What is GTM exactly in FMCG world, right? So basically, this docket will have entire end-to-end conversation. This video basically will cover not only the basics of GTM, but I'll try to give some of the key pointers in terms of what are the challenges that we face uh, while executing the GTM strategies, right? What are the calculations, how to plan the budget if you're a new brand trying to execute or launch into different markets, how to execute your budget so that you do not lose out on money, right? Points become extremely critical. So basically what we'll learn in this entire uh, video is what exactly is GTM, especially in context to FMCG business. I'll discuss four proven GTM strategies, right? One would be distribution led, influencer led, doctor push, BTL heavy, right? And post that we'll see how to do the budget allocation so that the ROI is healthy for new businesses, for our distributors. Then what are the daily, weekly metrics that we should track once we have executed the GTM? And in the end, we'll discuss some of the common mistakes that brands make and how to avoid them, right? So let's get on to it. Before we start the video, requesting all to kindly subscribe to the channel. And if you're not joined on Telegram, please join it. I post daily content on Telegram that is not even available on LinkedIn. So please join the Telegram community. You will enjoy. We do regular live sessions. We try to engage with the Telegram audience. So please subscribe and join the Telegram channel. All the links will be available in the video description so that you can directly navigate yourself to the relevant, right? So let us begin with what is GTM, right? So GTM in context to FMCG is basically how your product, when you are a brand, enters into the market and reaches the consumer, right? So it is not just when you're launching a product, you need to design the GTM when the product is not working. When the product is working, but you need to expand or penetrate more, right? When the product is new, what should be the go-to-market strategy? So all these things comes under the GTM strategy for an FMC. It includes everything, the four P's that we study in marketing: product, price, place, promotion. All these are taken care within the GTM itself. Okay, so GTM has three key pillars: coverage, visibility, and offtake. You can also define it as AVF. This is the common term that I use in my interviews. So it is basically availability, visibility, and freshness. So if you have all these three things, offtake will definitely happen. It is a byproduct of availability, visibility. So availability comes under coverage, visibility comes visibility, and freshness ensures offtakes, regular offtakes are there of your product, right? So you can think of a GTM just like a movie release. Great movies fail without proper trailer drops, release dates, and promotion, right? So same happens with the products as well. We need to have the right launch strategy, the right execution strategy for our brands. It can be new brand, it can be the existing brand, it can be a very popular known, or it can be a low-lying fruit in your plethora of brands that you are currently. Right? So I think this clears basics of GTM. It's a go-to-market strategy. Just like a movie release, there are certain uh, things that we need to ensure properly so that the movie release happens well. Same happens with the GTM. And the three key pillars of the GTM are coverage, visibility, and offtake, right? So let's move on with some of the examples. What are the different types of GTM? I think this will help you give better answer solutions and figure out what are the different strategies that you should adopt for your particular category that you're working in, for your particular range of products that you're handling. And it can also be a mix of two strategies also. Here I have tried to keep it very simple so that you are able to understand uh, which exact strategy that you should be working on, right? So let us begin with distribution-led GTM. So distribution-led GTM is a simple GTM model which primarily works on mass rollout and low ticket items, right? Uh, a prime example of this could be biscuits or say for example atta, right? Or confectionery, right? Wherein we use distributors and push schemes primarily to launch into the market. This again, if you remember AVF, the coverage that comes from this push is led by distribution-led GTM, right? So, where is the focus in this type of GTM? The focus is on availability, that is on the reach, to reach maximum number of consumers, to ensure numeric distribution initially. And if the brand is well established, then we can definitely work on the weighted part, right? So let us try to understand this. A new biscuit brand is there. Target is to reach around 30,000 outlets in your geography, and that too within 60 days. That is 2 months of timeline. What should be the strategy? First strategy, since it's a distribution-led GTM, you need to appoint as many distributors as possible in the closest time interval, right? These distributors will ensure that you reach the correct set of outlets within their coverage range. Ideally, a coverage range of 10 kilometers per distributor should be fine. And then you need to appoint the salesman, and you can appoint the salesman basis the kind of product that the person is handling. Say it is handling C class outlets, B class outlets, that is the kind of outlets that has low throughput, right? In that case, the salesman will cover around 35 to 40 outlets, which is typically happening in case of confectionery, 35 to 40 outlets. Okay, but in case a salesman is handling self-service outlets, a bit of premium kind of outlets, then he can have around 20 to 20 outlets on it, right? And you need to ensure minimum 50% productivity. So if he's handling 30 outlets, let's make sure that he at least achieves, the person achieves 15 outlets per day per salesman, and you need to plan your beats, routes accordingly, right? Initially you will have a minimum investment amount, say for example 15 lakhs here. Along with primary push and schemes, you need to flood the market. This kind of distribution model works best for low margin impulse categories, as I told you: confectionery, snacks, biscuits, soft drinks, right? So this is the basic distribution model, that GTM model, which I have called as distribution led GTM, right? I hope this is clear to all. Let's move on to the next distribution model, which is influencer-led GTM model, right? Uh, the prime example of this could be OTC, personal care categories, right? It is driven by mostly beauty salons, chemists, and correct. So as you can see, the focus in this kind of GTM model would be uh, generate more and more trials via influence, right? Uh, have your visibility, availability in the chemists, beauty parlors. To better understand this, let's take an example for a launch of a face serum. Right? So we need to divide the budget of the launch within certain segments. For example, one portion of the budget will go to the influencer kits. Second would go to the training parlors. And then of course there is a margin loading extra for chemists, maybe for 2 months or 3 months, depending upon the particular brand or the product that you are trying to handle. In this particular kind of GTM model, you might not be dominant among the Kirana outlets, or, for example, the normal grocery outlets, but you will win where the product actually sells, which is the right identifying the right customer channel for your particular brand. This could be, as I said, chemists in your case, or saloons, beauty parlors. So it is more of a pull-based GTM model, wherein you need to spend more on generating more and more trials, generating, training people on the brand product, uh, rather than just pushing your stocks into the distributor. Might not be suffice ROI for your distributors then. So the budget allocation needs to happen accordingly, right? The third and the, I would say, a very niche distribution model is a doctor push GTM model, right? It is a combination of, it's a crossover of basically health and FMCG, right? So, prime example of this is, for example, supplements, ORS products, health-oriented products, right? With the doctor credibility drive, where the doctor credibility drives trials, correct? For example, in Kenvue where I'm working, we have ORSL, right, which is major contributor, which contributes heavily to the business, and it is led by a combination of uh, consumer products as well as a combination of doctor generated trials. So this kind of a distribution model is critical, wherein your brand or your product has a crossover of health and FMCG. So let us try to understand with the oral rehydration solution, like Enview, for example, or SL. Say, for example, I am launching my own ORS solution and I want to target 5 to 10,000 set of doctors. The strategy would be create detailers, right? Train your MRs, go to pharma chemist, go to as many chemists as much as possible, do pharma chemist tie-ups, uh, train the people, educate the people. Uh, then the second thing could be to allocate a certain budget for the visibility kits in clinics, right? So because this particular GTM model works more on trust. So the first GTM model, which I said was distribution led, works on push. The second, which I said was on personal care, influencer led, works on pull. And this particular model works completely on trust. You need to generate the trust, build your credibility in the market, and then you will see wonders happening for your particular brand, right? Let us discuss the next distribution GTM model, which is BTL led. Now, BTL led, I believe, could work in any of the above three GTM models that I've already discussed. And it can again work in e-commerce, for e-commerce brands, for modern trade heavy brands, right? For health supplement brands also, wherein you are targeting premium customers or uh, having a category range of modern trade products, right? uh, you can do events in that case. You can do you might be having protein drinks for which you need to generate trials, right? You need to approach gym members for this case. So let's understand this with the example of a protein drink. So the best case in this is what should be your go to market strategy? So protein drinks, the best case would be to approach gyms, right? So you need to have certain budget for gym sampling before you plan your marketing budgets. Then you need to do store end caps, which comes under POSM, point of store visibility merchandising. And then you need to appoint in-store promoters. These are required so that they educate the customers about your product benefits, how it is differentiating from the competition available there, and ensure that people generate that trust factor along with the amount of BTL that you're spending on it, right? So it's a mix of two or three GTM strategies. Now, as I said, when you're a new brand, you try to you have to be very cautious, careful in your budgets. You're very limited on budgets. You're very limited on the amount of money that you need to spend. But at the same time, you need to ensure expansion as well. So for that, I have created an ideal budgeting model. The budget amount you can decide within yourself, but I think this should be the ideal split so that you are able to not only generate trials but also ensure that you achieve a successful GTM for your product. So first would be the trade margin, keep it at around 35 to 40%. Then the POSM visibility spends, that should go to approximately 20% of the total budget. Then the manpower planning and the sampling part, that should encompass around 30%. Depending on sampling, if the product is not new, it is already existing in the system, it is already a big brand, then you can reduce the sampling part, focus more on manpower and trade margins. And then always keep a contingency budget of 10% so that in case anything goes wrong, you are able to survive the tough market conditions, right? So as I said here, don't blow everything on posters, allocate smartly based on category pool and margin structure. So I hope budgeting is quite clear to you. In case you have any questions, doubts, you can put in your numbers, where you're facing challenges in the comments below, and I'll try to answer your comments. I'll try to give you possible solutions. Do mention your problem statements, and let's see if me or anyone from the people watching the video would be able to help you out. So once everything is done, you have executed everything into the market, made the spends, decided the GTM strategy. What are the things that you should track on a daily basis, or what are the things that you could track on a weekly, monthly basis, so that you ensure that whatever you're doing is working fine for you. Right? So you can go for numeric and weighted distribution. Numeric distribution is basically as many outlets as possible, and weighted distribution is to be present in the right set of outlets that caters majority of the sales of the category. So you need to do competition benchmark, outlet benchmark, right? Second thing that you need to ensure is how much of your trials are getting converted. So if your promoters onboarded, try to take on data from them, like what is the what is the conversion on trials. It will give you a clarity what is working and what is not working. Next thing that you need to ensure is coverage as well as effective coverage. It is directly proportional to numeric and weighted distribution. Right coverage ensures numeric distribution, and its effective coverage means getting into the right set of outlets that will ensure your weighted distribution. Right? So combination of these two. And the last thing is beat plan adherence. You need to work on the basics, like the salesman is doing proper productive calls. We call piece productive calls. That is, if he's visiting 30 outlets, he's able to achieve at least one bill in 50% of the outlets. Productive calls. What is the total calls average that he's doing? That how many outlets he's visiting on a daily basis, depending upon the category, as I told you. What is the TLC? Total lines, TLS, for total lines sold in the outlets. What is the ULC? Unique lines sold in those set of outlets, right? Bill cuts, how many bills he is cutting. It is directly proportional to productive calls. What is the number of lines that he is selling, right? If you're able to track them, and the salesman is, your team members are working properly as per beat, I think there is no one who could stop your brand or product from launching properly or successfully into the market, right? That is there. So the last part of the topic, which is common mistakes that we'll do while adopting any GTM strategy. So initially, if you look at any GTM model, it might look that this is the perfect model and you go directly into it. But do not just clone any GTM model. Try to create your own go-to-market strategy, right? Rather than cloning what is already existing. Second thing, your distributors are your first set of customers. If your distributor ROI is getting depleted, you need to check on what is not working, and you need to ensure that distributor ROI getting neglected. The next and the most critical thing would be confusing visibility with sales. So what happens is, you will go to an outlet visit, you will see most of your product range stacking there, but it might happen that they are not really selling. So what is the best thing to do is, when you go to any market visit, check the product ranges that is available there. Try to see what is the manufacturing and expiry date of your product, and similarly, what is the manufacturing and expiry date of the competitor products. It will help you give an idea about the visibility and rotation of your brand product category compared to the competition, right? So you might feel that the visibility is high, means sales is high, but it might not be the case. The product may be lying on the shelf from a very long time. So you need to check what is the exact amount of when was the last time that particular store was built, what is the exact quantity it was built with, how many pieces have moved out of the product, and it will give you an idea that is it really selling or it's just visibility, right? And then the last thing is proper training. So you can make good plans onto Excel, you can have a best GTM strategy, but if your team is not trained enough to execute it well into the market, your GTM strategy could completely fail, and execution becomes one of the key metrics key metrics in ensuring a successful GTM launch. So I think uh, this completely covers end-to-end GTM process, different types of GTM. I tried to cover some of the examples, key metrics that you need to track, the mistakes that you need to avoid. Still, if you feel I missed anything, please let me know into the comments. Try to subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, hit the bell icon. I'll try to produce more good content for you all. And do join us on Telegram. We'll post amazing content on Telegram. I would like to see you all on the other side. You'll find all the links into the description of the video. Hope to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a great day ahead.